Hey guys, I just got back from Pagan Pride Day, and I had told you all on Facebook that I was presenting a workshop there. I'm sorry if you came out and there was no workshop. I'm also sorry that the video of this workshop that I planned is being filmed here instead of at the Pagan Pride Day like I had promised on Facebook as well. It seems that the Pagan Pride Day was not organized at all this year. I arrived about 45 minutes before my workshop, and there was a band playing that was supposed to have stopped playing about an hour before my workshop, and I was told to go to the other pavilion to set up. My workshop was never announced, no one came over. People that were there, which were just my friends that were there to help me film the workshop and things like that, couldn't even hear what I was saying over the band because it was so loud. And then some drummers and dancers started setting up for their presentation, or 4:30 I mean, which was when my workshop was supposed to start. I was never given another time. I was asked specifically to present this workshop, and it clearly didn't matter at all. So I am very irate and disappointed, I guess, because I spent hours preparing this workshop and spent money on books to research it and to make copies of the handouts for it, and had people drive me to this event specifically for this workshop. I possibly had subscribers that came in. I don't know, I got a few emails from you guys saying that you were coming in from Louisville or Indianapolis to see this workshop because I was giving it and you wanted to meet me and whatnot. I didn't see any of you. If you were there, I am insanely sorry. We wandered around for about an hour trying to find a different place, trying to track down anyone who looked like they knew what was going on to give us another time. So, here I am filming the workshop that should have happened at 4:30. And here it is. When I was asked to give a workshop at the Pagan Pride Day in my area, I didn't really know what I wanted to talk about. I knew I wanted to discuss ritual in some form because I focus on ritual so heavily in my practice and my work with my students, and obviously on my new website, Roots of Ritual, which I will link in the sacred space below. If you have not already seen it, check it out, it's amazing. And the reason I focus on ritual so heavily is because I believe that you can learn anything and everything you need to know about a religion or the practitioners of a religion through their ritual practices. You can learn about their moral code, their ideology, their view of the universe, their theology, etc. through their ritual and through the way they go about it. And I also view the term witch as a verb. If you are actively doing witchcraft, you are not a witch. Daily practice, at least weekly practice, is essential for this way of life. And ritual is a large part of that. But there are a lot of problems when it comes to teaching ritual and experiencing ritual and going about ritual. And a lot of those stem from faulty information online and in books. A lot of people see books and take them as law, the 101 books. And that leads to a lot of issues about their practice and the way they view the world. Each book on Wicca and paganism and religion in general is a set of opinions of that author, a set of interpretations of that religion, its texts, its beliefs, its practices, etc. And no word is law, especially in paganism. So to take the 101 author's writing at face value is kind of odd. But it happens frequently. And it creates some of the issues that I'm going to talk about today. Because when you look at a 101 book, in terms of the Sabbats, they gloss over the meanings of the Sabbats, really. They say, oh, these happen at these points of the year. You do a ritual to observe them. Maybe here's an example ritual. And those examples highlight maybe 1 to 4 themes. When I was working on my website, I found out how prevalent it is to believe that there are like 4 or 5 themes you can work with for every Sabbat. Because if you look at our example pages, all of them have the same theme. And we didn't do that. That was how it was online. That is not made just to illustrate this point. It's pretty much fact. People believe that if you don't do a ritual for, like, Samhain to honor your ancestors, or to work with the thinning of the veil, or to work with the death of the god, or a harvest festival, or a harvest ritual, you're not really celebrating Samhain. And the same thing goes with Beltane with the thinning of the veil, or fertility, or Mabon. Mabon's more than a harvest festival, but most people don't focus on anything else. And it goes on with all the Sabbats, but there's so much more meaning to each of them that you can find if you examine them, and we're going to talk about that a little later. The other problem that comes up with newbies is interaction with other people. Some 101 books offer this advice, but it's mainly I've seen online, where someone posts and they say, I've never done a ritual before, I want to celebrate this Sabbat coming up, what do I do? And they're either told to use a ritual found in a book and just read it and work with that, or to light a candle, go for a nature walk, meditate, and keep it simple. And those are both great pieces of advice for newbies that want to be eased into ritual and know that it's not some grandiose gesture that takes weeks and weeks to write and years upon years of study to produce and practice. But a lot of people don't grow past that advice. It seems like a lot of the people giving that advice don't do much else in their personal practice, and that might be because they haven't found the information out there, or they don't care. A lot of it might be laziness. I don't know. I don't presume to know what they're thinking, but it kind of comes off that way sometimes. So this whole workshop is about moving past that and kind of finding a new meaning in your practice. Because I'm not saying you should throw every ritual written in a book out the window. They're great inspiration. They're great when you're first starting out and you don't know what to do for ritual. But a lot of people's practice stagnates if they only use pre-written rituals, because they're not putting their own energy into it. They're not using it to personally tailor how they're going to grow and what they're going to do for that observation. A lot of people need that effort, and there's often steps that we talk about in our ritual writing article on Roots of Ritual, where you start from pre-written ritual, you kind of tailor the pre-written ritual, and then you start writing your own rituals, and you go from there. So I'm not saying just throw all your books out the window that have example rituals, but when you feel like you need that oomph back in your ritual and it's lost that from using pre-written rituals or even tailoring them, then you have to go to the next step, which is what we're going to talk about.